Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early. It's 7 a.m. now here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, this is good. This is an important video for me. This is a video I've been wanting to do for a long time. I'm not sure what I'm going to title it. I might title it something along the lines of parents for parents or non-addicts, addiction recovery for non-addicts. And of course, I'm not making this just for non-addicts. This is for, for everybody, including people in recovery, people wanting to get into recovery. But I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of comments from parents. And from everybody, but from parents, and these are the ones that really affect me the most. That really hit my heart. Seriously, I know this sounds corny, but it's the truth. I think back to the havoc, the destruction I wreaked on my family for 2.5 decades. I mean, my parents were close to divorce. Their bank accounts were empty. I literally almost destroyed my entire family. And then conversely, now, just when, at least 2 or 3 times a week, I try to have a breakfast with my mom, and the smile on her face, and I enjoy sitting down with her just for an hour here, an hour there, going out to breakfast or whatever. That enjoyment, that's the kind of thing that I wish that if there's some way that I could share that. I remember the pain and just the hopelessness of where I was, and my family's hopelessness, and just the opposite now. And that's my goal. All right. So anyway, I realize this is important here. I was in and out of detoxes and rehabs. I'd go to initially I thought that a detox was a rehab. I didn't know anything. For 2 decades of using it, I didn't understand this. A detox is initially just like 5 days to get everything out of your system, and then ideally you move on to a rehab for 30, 60, 90 days, a year, whatever. And 13 times I went to detoxes. Half of those maybe I went into rehab after. And this is what I want to talk about today. The minute, the second that door, you go out that door after you leave rehab or detox, either one, the minute your foot hits that sidewalk and you're on your own, it's up to you. Because that's where I failed. That's where I failed every single time. And I want to talk about that and what's worked for me. I'm kind of just going by the seat of my pants here. I'm kind of freestyling it, so I hope I remember everything. You really have to rebuild your entire life. You have to have a plan. I realize this. I failed 13 times. I had the best intentions. I was going, when I was in rehab and detox, I actually led. I was so serious, and I guess my attitude or whatever, I would lead the NA groups we would have at night inside the rehabs and detoxes. I had every intention, but the moment my foot hit that sidewalk, I didn't know what I do. You have a whole 24-hour day or whatever, day ahead of you, and there's no rules, there's no foundation, there's no framework, there's no I can't remember the word I'm looking for. Structure. There's no structure. You've got to have structure. So these are 3 things that in my life that I use right now, that I've been using since I've been in recovery. Like I said, you got to have that moment of clarity, the moment, that moment where you actually feel good, and you enjoy that, that clear-headed feeling. I talked about that in other videos when the methadone started working. And I didn't know what to do with myself. They say to go to meetings, do 90 and 90 meetings in 90 days. But that leaves so much time in your day for other things. You have to get rid of the phone numbers, the friends, everybody. You have to rebuild your life. And this is how I did this. I wanted to keep busy. So what do I do? What do I do with myself? I went home. I left the rehab. I brought my clothes home. I got comfortable after being in rehab for 30 days, and I felt good. But it's that minute right there that you fall back into your old routine and you fail immediately, or you do something else, something new, something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And I decided to go for a walk. There's dams all around my house. So that's the only thing that I could think of. So I went for a 15-minute walk, and it was great, man. I walk every day, as you guys know. I walk for an hour, 2 hours every day. And I was reading how blood flow gets, the blood flow in your brain gets going. I call it my best thinking time. Especially if you can walk, if it's possible to walk like out in the woods or in nature. It gives you quiet time to just think about yourself and your life, and it gives you time. So I started walking, and I walked more. I'd walk a half hour, then an hour. Then I started losing weight because I had gained a lot of people gain a lot of weight. And I had no muscle. I had no muscle texture. I was all flabby from the 2.5 decades of using and eating bad. So after, say, 3 months, I picked up one weight, and I just did 5 curls, and it was just like with the walking. I was like, next day I did it again, and these things quickly become a routine, and I started to build muscle mass. Another thing, now we'll put the exercise to the side right now, and I also art. Art is the second thing in my life. That is a huge part of my recovery. It wasn't anything big in my life before when I was using or in my younger days, but there was an art therapy in St. Francis Hospital in Hartford. They had a new art room, and they had us all sit down and paint and do these exercises in recovery. And I enjoyed it, and I discovered I had a small bit of talent for it. So when I got out, between walking and going to AA meetings, I went to a hobby store. And I remember actually being afraid to buy the first little canvas. It was this big. It was $2. And I was afraid to spend that $2. Because I thought it was going to be a waste. And I am so thankful. I still remember that. I am so thankful that I spent that $2. Today, I am buying canvases like every other week, $80, $100 canvases just for the canvas. It's become a huge part of my life and part of my income now. And I discovered I had a talent for that. The third thing, I started making videos while I was out walking. I discovered how easy it was to download a YouTube video. And that became this hobby, this other part of my life, of making videos, making recovery videos. So these 3 things, I started thinking about that. These 3 things were a huge part in rebuilding my life. And it gave me self-confidence. It gave me a reason not to use, besides for taking up my time and keeping me busy, especially exercise. I was actually cognizant. I realized my body and my heart, my mind, before I just polluted myself. I didn't care. The stuff I was doing caused brain damage and it could kill me, and I didn't care. But the more I started exercising and working out, I became aware, of my heart and my cholesterol level, and I started to appreciate it. And I started to appreciate myself. So I got my cholesterol down, and to this day I eat better, and it becomes so much less likely, less attractive. The drugs are so less attractive at this point in my life now. Just even if I pictured using just one day of like cocaine, what that would do to my heart, my blood pressure, my body, my mind, how it would set me back, the damage it would do to me. These are things that I'm cognizant of now that I don't want to, throw away. I don't want to ruin. I have an appreciation of myself, and I have self-confidence. And the same thing with the art, the talent I build up in art, the time it takes to do this. With art, when I do a painting, I just get lost in the painting. And it gives me some time to think to myself. And when you have time like that, you realize that you are important. That, it builds self-confidence, and it makes it so less attractive to use drugs, to want to use drugs. Without these 3 things now, and then the video making, I thought about this. What if I didn't have these 3 things in my life right now? I wouldn't have made it. Let's just say for this argument that I've made it 16 years and I'm still clean. I'm clean right now, but I didn't have those 3 things, which It's not a realistic situation, but what would my day look like? I get up not because I have to, because I want to. Every morning I do these things, 4-hour workout, 2-3 hours of painting and going to galleries and phone calls and posting my artwork on websites, making videos here. And my day is so busy, and I look forward to this when I wake up at 2:30 in the morning, and it drives me all day. I get excited. When I wake up, I love looking at the artwork I did the day before. I clean myself up in the mirror, and I don't always, you put on pounds, you don't always look good, but I have confidence in myself when I look in the mirror now. Back when I avoided the mirror. I swear to God, if it was up to me, I would have smashed all the mirrors in my house, because believe me, I did not look anything like I do right now. And it's not all about looks, but it's about appreciating yourself. And not just that, but using your time in a constructive manner to build confidence. Like I said, every day I look forward. I can't wait to get going at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to make these videos, to work out, to create my art. And then there's a whole other bunch of interests like reading, shopping, family activities that have built up along with these 3 main hobbies in my life. And that has made my recovery successful. Now, not everybody is going to enjoy exercising or painting or whatever. You have to. This is another hard part of recovery. Is it's got to be something. It's not. You're not going to start off right off the bat. Like I just started off doing 15 minutes of walking, and I decided I liked it, and it became a habit, and it became a big part of my life. And these are things you have to discover for yourself. The reason you're here, these things you're good at, the reason for getting up in the morning, the reason that you have confidence in yourself, that you don't want to ruin yourself, that you want to live for the next day, you want to do good for your family, you want your family to be proud of you, you want to make your family happy, you want to make yourself happy. And these are the things that make it possible. It is not easy by any means, but once you realize how much incredibly better life is being clean and sober, it becomes just this much easier. Recovery is possible. You guys have a good Tuesday.